Hello and welcome to part 5 of programming for the web, installing a Linux system. On this video we're going to actually install Linux. This is actually going to take a little bit of time, so this will be a bit of a longer video. I will stop and start the video in the parts where it's just working away. Okay, so here we go. You need to have your virtual box open. As you can see, Linux Mint is highlighted, so we'll click Start. This will take a moment while it actually does start, and it will ask you, okay, where you want to have your startup disk. Okay, so we need to find the ISO that we created. Now you can either plug that into your USB, or as you can see, I actually have a copy in my downloads folder. So I shall click on that, and it now has the correct ISO. So I clicked on the icon, I selected the Linux Mint ISO, and I'll now click on Start. Okay. The box actually opens, and you can see it's got automatic boot in about 5 or 6 seconds. Oops, okay. Right. It will take a couple of minutes to start up, so what I will do is I'll stop recording, and once it's started up, I'll start recording again. Okay, Linux Mint is running on this virtual machine, but it is not installed. That's very important. It's not installed. Here, what happens with Linux is you can actually try it before you decide to install it. Okay, yes, we've got a software rendering mode. If you just click on that, it will go away. You can move the virtual machine screen size, and as you can see, it will just resize for you as you wish. Okay, I'm going to make it into full screen, and it should resize as the full screen. Okay, click on Install Linux Mint. This will take a moment while it actually loads in the installation system. Okay. First of all, you need to select your language. Okay, so click on your language. I want English, so I've clicked on English and continue. Again, it's installed. I want to install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi and this type of thing. You may, if you want a totally clean system, you may not want to do this. I would recommend you install it. Okay. It will download this during the install program, so it does take a bit longer as well. You do need an internet connection for that. Click continue. And say it will think about it for a few minutes while it's preparing to install. Okay, it's found the correct drivers. As we're on a virtual machine and it's an empty disk, we want to erase the disk and install Linux Mint. If you're worried about security, you could encrypt the disk. I'm not going to do it. And if you're wanting to change the size of the drive, you can click on this setting here. Because I've only got a 30 gig hard drive, I'm not going to do it. But if you decided on a 100 gig or a 200 gig hard drive or something like that, you may want to partition it. So at that point you can click it. I'm going to click it. It doesn't matter. I just won't be using it. But you may well want to create partitions within here later. So I'll do that and then click on Install Now. Okay. It will come up and tell you what it's going to do. This is absolutely fine, so click on continue. Now you need to tell it where you are. This is for the clock and for the date and time. As you can see, I'm in London, so it's got London. But for example, if you were in Bangkok, you can click on Bangkok. If you're in Kuala Lumpur, you can click on Kuala Lumpur. We want London, so let's have a London. Click on Continue. This is setting up, as I say, the keyboard. So next I want the English UK keyboard. I have a standard keyboard, so I don't need to make any changes, but if you've got a different type of keyboard, you can click on Detect Keyboard Layout, and it'll ask you to click on various keys. It'll ask you whether those keys are available, okay, and it will find your keyboard for you. So just click on the keyboard type that you've got and then continue. Okay, type in your name and you'll see that it's come up with a username. It's given it a rather large name, so I'm going to actually change this to Linux Mint. Okay, you need to choose a password. If you're on a virtual machine on your own computer, you don't really need to have a complex password, but I shall just put in a fairly standard one that I use. You can have login automatically if it's your own machine and it's only going to be you. If it's shared by other people, then I would require my password to log in. If other people are going to be using the virtual machine, then I would recommend you encrypt your home folder. Click Continue. As I say, it's only me, so I'm not going to do that. So click Continue. And it'll now copy the files. This could take quite some time, and it will give you information about the Linux Mint system. I will stop the recording and I will start it again when it's finished copying the files. Okay, as you can see, the installation has finished. It'll now want to restart the virtual machine, which we're going to do in a moment. On clicking restart, it'll tell you to remove the media. You can't if it's from an ISO on your hard drive, so just click enter or press enter a couple of times until it does restart. So I'm going to restart and we'll come back once the machine has restarted. Okay, Linux has restarted, and because it's the first time, it does take a little bit of time to restart. You need to enter your password, which you gave at the beginning, and press enter. Again, it will take a couple of minutes just to set itself up, and then we'll be ready to go. Just so you're aware, the sections at the top are part of VirtualBox, as well as the section at the bottom. We can remove them if you wish by going into View, and you can go into full screen mode. But for what I want, they're fine. It's not a problem for me. So you probably heard the startup sound, and within a minute or two, yes, we've got the menu bar, we've got the welcome screen, we've got some icons on the desktop, we have a system tray and a status bar, and of course it's saying it's in rendering mode, so we will click on that to remove it. The next video is going to be about setting up Linux Mint, what you need to do. While you're waiting for that, you might want to have a look at the documentation here. It'll give you a lot of information about Linux Mint. Thank you for watching. I'm John, and I'll see you in the next video.